You know what I love as a driver? You're driving down on the inside. You're in that 2 car. You're leading the race. Jay Sauter. Everything's going fine. You think you're in the right place, doing a good job. All of a sudden, a bunch of cars go by you on the outside.
And you're still wide open.
Say, roll, what?
Whoa, trouble.
Boy,
the 2 car upside down, over and on to Scott Riggs.
It's the big one.
Oh, boy. Who is that still flipping?
Sauter. It was Johnny Sauter.
There's not anybody left.
I mean, I only see about 4 or 5 cars that are coming around through 3 and 4 right now that were not in this race. They see Mike McLaughlin in 18. They're still getting upside down. Cars driving under cars. There has to be 25 cars over there.
Comes Michael Waltrip. Damaged Lyndon Amick. And you see the 2 of Johnny Sauter.
Here comes
Scott Riggs, last week's winner.
Here comes our leader, Stacy Compton.
Jason Keller, Kenny Wallace,
Kevin Grubb, who has come from 38th up to the top 5.
Todd Bodine with damage.
A bit of damage,
little damage, not much.
Jeff Purvis.
Drivers climbing out. There is Ron Hornaday.
Look at that
going over toward Jamie McMurray.
Shane Mill in the 47 car.
Youngest driver in the race.
Joe
at age 21. Nemechek wrecked.
What a mess.
Coy Gibbs out of his car, and his teammate Mike McLaughlin is the car that landed on top of him. Kind of reminiscent of a big Daytona wreck. Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte ended up that way.
I don't know if I've ever seen a wreck this big in a Busch Series race here. I don't know if I've seen a wreck this big, maybe even in a Cup event.
One time here, and back in the 70s, Tiny Lund was in it, a lot of other guys. And
23 cars, that
23
one, I think.
cars, yeah.
Jimmy Spencer, mangled nose on his car. You saw Kerry Earnhardt's damage.
The problem we have with the racing at Daytona and Talladega is this. You cannot have a single or even a couple of car incident. You run 43 cars on top of each other, you're going to have a big wreck.
Randy LaJoie. There's Nemechek. He is okay. We also saw Ron Hornaday walking away. And we'll update you as we get news on the other drivers. They're assisting Mike McLaughlin out of his car. Mike is climbing out. He's okay. Watch the 2 car.
What caused this?
Oh, Meal got into Riggs.
It looked like Riggs had to maybe back out of the throttle a little bit because Kenny Wallace's car washed up as they come off the exit of turn 2 right there, the 48 car. Right here, this is turn 2. Kenny Wallace, the 48 car right there.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like Shane Meal possibly just got into the back of the 10 car.
The 47 car, yeah.
Yeah, got into Riggs. Look at that 2 flipping. Looks like Rusty Wallace's flip in the number 2 Winston Cup car here not many years ago.
And when they hit the grass, it even tumbled more. There's Randy LaJoie. Greg Biffle.
Oh, Biffle.
There's
Jay
Sauter. Kerry Earnhardt.
There's everybody. Jack
Sprague, our point leader.
And the track's completely
Tim Sauter. All the Sauters.
I think we did the right thing by saying who wasn't in it.
And because the track's blocked, NASCAR has displayed the red flag because the cars can't even get through on the back stretch.
It appears to me maybe 10 or 12 cars is all that's left. Boy, that 2 car went over big time and then gets hit, tumbles. That car's, look at that thing, Larry. It's turning every which way.
And then the 21.
And then he gets in the grass. Watch this.
Shot across.
Gets hit again.
Johnny Sauter, number 2, out of his car and okay.
Amazing.
There's Riggs sideways, and he was pretty close up to the wall, Darrell. I guess you don't know if he lost his momentum in his forward bite or if Meal just got into him.
Yeah,
there's no way to tell.
Say. You come off that corner and you can get a really run on a guy in front of you, and you think something happened to him, even though maybe it didn't.
And I stand corrected. It did not look like Kenny Wallace's car moved up the racetrack for that shot right there at all.
I think the 47 got into the back of the 10 for whatever reason.
You like lucky numbers? 13 cars made it back to the start-finish line.
Wow. Happened in 1992. I can remember had a big wreck off of turn 2. They always seem to happen off of turn 2, the big ones.
Wow. Looking out of Lyndon Amick's car.
Michael Waltrip. Kenny Wallace.
mess.
And there, as Larry explained, you saw Kenny move up the racetrack without any contact with Scott Riggs there before this started. There's Randy LaJoie. He's okay.
Jamie McMurray, the 27.
Scott Riggs.
About a $500 million worth of race cars.
Ron Hornaday. Now, because we're under a red flag condition, any of these cars that do make it back cannot be worked on. There's the 44 Mike Harmon. They can't touch these cars until the red flag is withdrawn and the track goes back under a yellow flag condition. They can look at it. They can't touch it. We're under a caution for a wreck on the back straightaway, triggered by Shane Meal's contact with Scott Riggs, and it ends up involving most of the field. We'll be right back. Most of the field, 24 cars involved in this crash in the back straightaway, and most of them will go on the rollback and right to the dumpster. Scott Wimmers may be one of them. Greg Biffles. And look at Johnny Sauter's, the car that tumbled down the back straightaway. Dick Berggren.
Well, Tony Raines was one of the first to make it to the garage area. The crew is working on pieces and parts that will go on the car. They are not allowed to touch the automobile. Tony sits behind the wheel, confident his crew will get him back out. What was it like through that crash, Tony?
It was really noisy. Hit a lot of stuff. Our debut over Closet-Made Pontiac didn't turn out so good. I saw the 10 car get sideways, and then I saw a car get flipped over, and I just went to the right. There was one little bitty hole between the wall and the whatever car it was, and I got the car and the wall, so I hit both of them. But typical speedway racing for myself anyway. But we're going to get it back together and get out there and make some laps. They said there's only 13 of them left. Maybe we can still get a top 15 finish. Who knows?
And there's a lot of people who are thinking that way. To Matt.
Dick, Brian Patty, the team manager for Randy LaJoie, is looking over, surveying the damage of the 7 car. And Randy, you told me this morning you were concerned about the big one. What's it like to go through the big one?
You know, I got to thank Nemco Evans Motorsports. You guys build a great race car. I thank my seat company. We bounced around out there like a pinball, but it was a pretty neat ride, really. But you just know your day's done for the Kleenex Winn-Dixie car. A couple guys up in the front got together and seen guys flipping, and one guy landed on the roof, and I just tried to hold it straight and hold the brakes. And hey, what can you do? This is restricted plate racing.
Now, we are under a red flag condition. Your crew is surveying the damage. Can you get this car back out, Randy?
Yeah, chassis-wise, it don't look bad at all. It's just all sheet metal, so we're going to have to whack it off and go to the old short track days, put a nose on it, and beat it up and make some laps.
Looks like a bad night at Danbury, his old racetrack back in Connecticut. And Steve Burns, 78 points out of first coming in. This team could take a big hit today.
Well, Matt, Scott Wimmer, the first to come out of the infield care center. Scott, are you okay? And tell us what happened from your perspective.
Yeah, I'm fine. It just looked like somebody up front got crossed up and got in a couple cars. And after that, you're just along for the ride. I thought we were going to make it through it, but a car slid up from the bottom and hit him right square in the door. But it seems like everybody's okay. That's a good thing. And, we'll move on from here.
All right, thanks, Scott. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
And with Ron Hornaday, he's looking over the remains of his number 5 Hendrick automobile. Just moments before the start of that race, you and I talked, and you said you thought you were going to have a pretty good day. What happened to you out there?
Oh, we had a great race car. I got to thank Rick Hendricks and GMAC to give me the opportunity. And just trying to keep Ricky's seat warm for another couple weeks. And I just seen some smoke in front. I checked up pretty good, and I thought I had it rode down. I was all the way in second gear, and somebody got in the back of me like they never even seen it. So nowhere they can go. I mean, the track was blocked, and we just kept getting shoved into it. So I just hope everybody's okay, and proud to be here. They'll cut this thing apart. We'll get it back out there.
We're glad you're okay. Steve Burns.
Thanks, Dick. We caught up with Tim Sauter, one of the 3 Sauter brothers in this race. Tim, first off, can you tell us about Jay and Johnny?
Jay and Johnny are both fine. Jay hit the wall pretty good, and he lost his breath there for a minute. Johnny just took a wild ride, and he's okay. Just one of them deals here at Talladega.
You started 10th, Tim. How disappointing is this?
It's really disappointing. We had a great car. We were just staying in line, minding our own business. I had kind of talked to Sprague earlier that we were just going to run behind him and stay right there. And I thought we had it made through there. And it's unfortunate for everybody at AP Performance because they worked their guts out to get this car done. We literally just got it back from the body hangers 2 weeks ago. So it's a real disappointment for us. Hopefully it's not hurt too bad. We lost some oil pressure there, so I couldn't drive it back. Otherwise, I'd have tried. So we'll see if we can't get it back out here for a few laps.
Glad you're okay, Tim. Let's go to Dick Berger.
I'm with a very disappointed Jeff Fuller. He thought he had a great race car. Teammate to Joe Nemechek. Hung around the Nemco garage looking for a ride. He's been rideless for a while. What did it look like to you?
Spotter told me bunch of smoke. I can't see. Back it down. We backed it down, and just at that speed, there's not enough time to get wound up. And all we saw was smoke and cars going each different way. And you know, thought we were just about out of it and got collected in it. So you know, it's one of them deals.
What's it like out there to be in the middle of one of those things with all that smoke and all those cars spinning around? What goes on in your mind while that's happening?
It's kind of cool. It's better than your average carnival ride that you can get. No. Honestly, all the cars looked like they were very stable. I know my car was stable. We got 3-4 wide. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy, but it looked like everybody was just really stable. And I don't know how that started, but it was awful early for it to start. I know Joe ain't going to be happy. We're probably going to get fired now, Dick. You know that? Huh?
Not your fault.
We're going to go back and run a real race car, though, up in Stafford Springs. So we'll be in a modified next week, and we're going to have a good time doing that. But I just feel unfortunate. I mean, Scott Products and Nemco, they got some awesome equipment here. All three of them got taken out now. Like I say, it's just awful early to be doing that.
This guy was debuting for a full-time ride, and now he's back to the modifieds next week at the Spring Sizzler. Good to see you.
There are no reports of injuries of any of the 24 or more drivers involved. Watch the yellow car of Scott Riggs.
Daryl, it looks like he got up there, and I don't know if he got a little loose or if the car pushed, but you get the feeling maybe he come back out of the throttle just a little bit right there, and a little bit can mean someone can get into you from behind.
Yeah, you know, I guess that's possible. Shane Hall was riding. Shane Mill was riding mighty close to him, even in the middle of the turn there. So it's hard to say. Won't know till we talk to those guys, I guess.
24 or more cars ended up involved.
Of our top 11 in the points, 8 was involved. Wow. But boys, what a difference this race is going to make in the points shakeup. Kenny Wallace and Jason Keller are the only 2 in the top 11 that were not involved.
Another look.
Boy, it happened so fast.
You know, it's hard to tell if maybe somebody was into the back of Shane Meal when he got into Scott Riggs. The angles make it very difficult to tell. Oh, Neil hit the inside wall a ton.
Man in front of you, big crash. Can't help it, there's too much smoke. Okay, Kerry. Damn it.
Kerry hit Jay Sauter and then Randy LaJoie from Hank Parker Jr.
And just look how quickly you lose your vision. You have no idea what's in front of you. You go in there wondering, hoping. You're just looking, that's what the driver sees right there. Has no idea what's in front of him.
He made it. He got stopped and made it through. Here are the cars involved in the crash. This is not the entire starting lineup, but it's 24 or more of them. We show 27 cars with damage. And again, there are no reports of any injuries.
And we're 15 laps into the race. Got 102 laps to go.
They have a minimum speed rule with so many of these cars going to try to make it back out, missing sheet metal. I wonder if they'll waive that. We'll see when we come back.